the win was a big one for momentum, building off the game before. And we knew Vancouver was playing, really good hockey, and it was going to be a big challenge. So the way the guys fought back and found a way to win that game was a real positive. So, we got some momentum building, and we just got to keep building on that.
Ask about two guys in particular. Jonathan Huberdeau misses the penalty shot. Obviously, Michael Backlund had a play he'd like to take back on the first goal, but they both come up big for you guys when the game was really on the line. What does that say about them?
Well, it's huge because if you look at the game, I think it's safe to say that we had a really good contribution from everyone last night to get that win. And they're two veteran guys that, like you say, they'll be the first to say that whether it made a mistake or Johnny would love to have that shoot or. The breakaway, the shootout, penalty shot. Sorry, and he's so good at it. He's our main guy. So, but you know what? It's the way that they responded and found a way to contribute in a positive way and come up with those 2 big points.
We heard from the players a little bit, but when you're in a playoff race like this, what's scoreboard watching like for a coach?
Actually, well, definitely while we're playing, we never watch. It's you think, you want to look up and all that, but you're so focused on these games and the intensity and you get into it so much that you really don't. And then when the games are over and other teams are playing, of course you're aware of it, but it's really the same thing. It's you just got to really stay focused on hand of what we're trying to do here, whether it's today's practice or games and all that. So, of course, you know what's going on, but you really got to, take charge and take care of your team and what you were trying to accomplish that day.
Has that changed from you moving from a player to a coach, or is it the exact same process when you're checking the standings?
I guess it's pretty much the same. It's natural. I mean, players, they follow the league every day, right from game one to the last one anyway, and same as coaches and all that. So you're always aware of your division and conference and everything like that. But actually, when it gets tighter like this, truthfully, it's really where we try to really dial in and and say, hey, like, every game is a new opponent, and every opponent's fighting for something, whether it's the players proving themselves that are out of the playoffs or teams trying to win the division or conference and all that. So we're doing a lot of good things right now in the last few games, and we want to build on those areas.
With all that said, there's going to be so much focus on this game against Winnipeg coming up, but I imagine in the locker room you guys aren't too concerned about the guys looking past the next 2 opponents.
Yeah, we know that the game's coming up with Winnipeg, but it doesn't mean anything if we don't come out and do the job in the games before that. So, and again, you cannot take anyone lightly, and we don't. We're a team that grinds it out every game to get a win, and these guys have beaten us before. So we got to get these guys ready to go tomorrow, and tomorrow's the only day that matters. And we are a day-to-day process team right now.
Right now, do you balance like on ice practice versus off ice film sessions? Does that equation change during a playoff race compared to say October?
Yeah, big time. It's rest is a big tool right now, and so much mentally is going on with these guys. Because every play, every period, every game is so important to pick up points. So that when you go through that every day and what they're going through, you got to make sure you give them the rest that they need. And you saw today it was real fast and quick, and get them in and get them out and get them ready for a 6 o'clock game tomorrow. So it's we got to keep them sharp and fresh, and you'll see less and less ice time as far as practice time right now for our group.
Nikita Zadorov was saying that he's noticed a big difference between the style that playoff teams and non-playoff teams are playing. And he said it almost presents a unique challenge playing against a non-playoff team because the structure isn't there and they're playing loose. Have you noticed the same thing, and how do you guys combat that?
Well, it happens every year. It's a couple things. Sometimes it's teams in those positions. It's an opportunity to have different personnel come in, and that personnel is usually younger guys and a chance for them to prove themselves. So they want that's the door opening for them. So they want to take advantage of it. So they're playing all out, and there is an opportunity for teams like that to take a little more of a gamble on certain plays and everything. So there's a little higher risk that way. So it's so important that we stay focused on how we play and our style and our identity, and to face different opponents, playing for different reasons.
Is there any update or clarity on the timeline for Chris Tanev right now?
Not yet that we've been told.
A couple of weeks ago, Blake Coleman, after a tough loss, had mentioned that the group kind of needed to mature a little bit. And today, he was pretty complimentary of his teammates in saying that there has been some growth there, especially when it comes to handling games like what they had yesterday. From your vantage point with this team, what growth have you been able to spot with your players and the team as a whole?
Well, if you look at the season so far, we've been battling for a lot of part, trying to get back into the playoffs. We've had stretches of good play and vice versa, and it's been a grind this year to fight to get into the playoffs, which we still are. I think the LA game a couple games ago where they're coming in hot, and it was a big challenge for us that we could not afford to lose points. And it seemed to be a game that we knew was a big one, and a lot of guys stepped up and have some of their best games of the year. And then we take that into Vancouver, who's playing really well, and we're trailing, and the guys, grinded it out, found a way to win that. So those two games right there, I think, is probably what Cole's referring to, where it's like, hey, you know what, push comes to shove, how are we going to respond here? And the guys did. So now it's a matter of building off of those two games.
Okay. To Aaron's previous question about trying to not watch the scoreboard watch and all that, it's one thing to not watch the games. Like, how do you resist the temptation to at least just look at your phone and like go on like one of those score apps and be like, okay, it's like.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we were fully aware of the the games, of course. To clarify that, it's more so when we're playing at the moment, you kind of just stay focused on our game because, you don't want the other ones don't really affect you as far as what's going on during the game. So, but of course we know Nashville's playing now and the scores and all that. So, but it's the main thing is to go, hey guys, you just don't want to be sitting there at the end of the year going, hey, we're short a point. Because certain team won and momentum and all that. Everything right now is all in every day for us and push. And every time we have an opportunity to play a game, we gotta win it.
You guys got over a couple of significant humps last week. First win when trailing following 40 minutes this season. First 3-game winning streak in almost 4 months. How much do those things help intangibles like belief and confidence and momentum for this group?
Yeah, well, I think I think it is. That's the key is the momentum. I think the guys are feeling that's what we have right now, and it's a good thing. This time of year, it's when you want to grab it. And like I say, those 2 games I found, and I think obviously the group, the coaches, the players, everyone with your organization, and that they're the 2 games that we got to build on. And you can't take it for granted. So we got to have that same focus tomorrow. But it's a fun time of the year. The games mean a lot, and it's fun to see the guys stepping up, in these situations and playing their best hockey.